Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Listening Club. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jack. Thanks for joining us today.
Today, we're talking about a very modern problem. Why is it so hard to stop scrolling at night?
Yes, I think many people know this feeling. You feel tired, you want to sleep, but you still keep looking at your phone.
Exactly. You tell yourself, just a few more minutes, but then those few minutes become much longer.
Sometimes it becomes 30 minutes, sometimes even 1 hour.
And the strange thing is, we often know it is not good for us, but we still do it.
Right. So today, we want to talk about why this happens, why night scrolling feels so powerful, and what we can do about it.
I think one reason is very simple. At night, we are tired.
Yes. And when people are tired, self-control becomes weaker.
During the day, it may be easier to stop and say, "No, I need to do something else now."
But at night, the brain feels softer and slower. It wants easy pleasure. It wants something simple.
And scrolling is very simple. You do not need to think much. You do not need to make a big effort.
You just move your finger. The next video comes, the next photo comes, the next story comes.
And each new thing gives a little feeling of interest.
Yes, not always deep interest, but enough to keep you there.
I think that is important. Night scrolling is often not really satisfying.
That's true. It is not always making us feel better in a real way.
But it keeps giving small pieces of something. A little surprise, a little humor, a little emotion.
And that makes it hard to stop.
Also, night is often the first quiet time many people have all day.
Yes, that is a big one.
In the daytime, people work, study, answer messages, go outside, do housework, and solve problems.
They are busy all day. Then finally at night, they sit down and think, now I can relax.
And the phone becomes a fast way to enter that relaxing time.
Even if it is not real rest.
Exactly. It feels like rest, but sometimes it is not restful.
I think many people are not only tired at night, they are also mentally full.
That's a good way to say it, mentally full.
There are too many thoughts from the day. Work stress, school pressure, small worries, unfinished tasks.
So when they finally lie down, silence feels a little uncomfortable.
Yes. Because then the mind starts talking.
And scrolling can help people avoid that feeling for a while.
It gives the brain something else to look at, something else to follow.
So in that moment, the phone is not just entertainment, it is also escape.
I agree. Sometimes people do not scroll because they are happy and excited. Sometimes they scroll because they do not want to sit alone with their thoughts.
That is very common, especially at night.
Night can make feelings stronger.
Yes, a small worry can feel bigger at night.
A small sadness can feel deeper.
And a simple habit can feel stronger.
I also think the design of apps matters a lot.
Definitely.
These apps are built to keep us there. They do not want us to leave quickly.
Right. There is always one more thing to see.
And the content keeps changing. So the brain thinks, maybe the next one will be even better.
That idea is very powerful. Maybe the next one.
It feels endless.
And when something feels endless, it becomes harder to choose a stopping point.
Yes, because there is no natural ending.
If you read one short article in a book, that article ends.
If you watch one episode of something, it ends.
But when you scroll, there is no clear finish.
The road just keeps going.
So you must create the ending by yourself.
And that is not easy when you're tired.
Another reason is habit. Many people do this every night.
Yes, and habits become automatic.
After some time, the body almost remembers the pattern.
Like this: brush your teeth, get in bed, pick up the phone.
Exactly. It starts to feel normal.
And when something feels normal, we stop questioning it.
We do not ask, "Do I really want to do this?"
We just do it.
I think many habits are like that. They become part of the evening without permission.
That's a great sentence. Without permission.
Because maybe, if we stopped and asked honestly, the answer would be no.
Yes, maybe we would say, no, I actually want sleep. I want peace. I want rest.
But the habit moves faster than that thought.
Also, there is something emotional about night scrolling.
What do you mean?
Well, sometimes people feel that the night belongs to them.
Ah, yes, I understand.
The day may belong to work, school, family, or other people.
But the late night feels personal.
It feels like private time. My time.
So even if someone is tired, they may still keep scrolling because they do not want the day to end.
Exactly. Going to sleep means tomorrow is coming.
That's such a real feeling.
Some people are not only avoiding sleep, they are also holding on to freedom.
Yes, even a small freedom.
Just sitting there, alone, choosing what to watch, what to read, what to look at,
So the phone becomes connected to comfort and control.
which makes it even harder to put down.
I think a lot of people say they scroll because they want to relax, but sometimes they finish scrolling and feel worse.
Yes. They feel more tired, or guilty, or empty.
Or their head feels too active to sleep.
That happens a lot,
Because not all screen time feels the same.
right? Some things are calm, some things wake the brain up.
Fast videos, strong emotions, shocking news, too much information.
All of that can make the brain more active, not less.
So the body is tired, but the mind is still moving.
And that is not a good combination for sleep.
I also think light matters.
Yes, the phone light can make the body feel less ready for sleep.
Even if someone feels sleepy before, the screen can make bedtime feel later.
It sends a mixed message to the brain.
Like, it is night, but also maybe it is not time to sleep yet.
And then the person stays awake longer.
There is also the emotional side of content. Sometimes one video leads to another and suddenly your mood changes.
Yes, you may start with something funny, then see something stressful, then something sad, then something exciting.
That is a lot for the mind before sleep.
Very true. The heart and the brain do not get a quiet ending to the day.
Instead, they get many different signals.
And then people wonder why they cannot fall asleep easily.
I think this is why many people feel that night scrolling is not a small habit. It affects the whole next day, too.
Definitely. If you sleep later, you wake up more tired.
Then the next day feels harder.
And when the next day feels harder, you may want more easy comfort at night.
So the cycle repeats.
Yes, tired day, late scrolling, poor sleep, tired day again.
And habits like this can feel small when we look at one night only.
But over weeks, they become much bigger.
So what can people do?
I think the first step is not to blame yourself too much.
I agree. Shame usually does not help.
If you say, I am so lazy or I have no control, that often makes things heavier.
A better starting point is simple honesty.
Yes, just notice what is happening.
You can ask, why am I scrolling right now?
Am I bored? Am I stressed? Am I lonely? Am I avoiding tomorrow?
That question can change a lot.
Because then scrolling stops being invisible.
It becomes a choice you can see.
And once you can see it, you have more power.
Another helpful idea is to make the stopping point easier.
Right? Because when we are tired, difficult plans often fail.
So instead of saying, I will completely change my life tonight, maybe try something smaller.
For example, set a simple time.
Yes. Maybe say, at 1100, my phone goes away.
Or charge your phone across the room.
That helps a lot for some people.
Because then the phone is not in your hand or next to your pillow.
Small distance can create a better choice.
Another idea is to replace scrolling with something else, not just remove it.
That is important. People need another way to land softly at night.
Maybe quiet music, maybe a short book, maybe simple stretching.
Maybe writing down a few thoughts from the day.
Or listening to something calm.
Yes. Because many people do not really want stimulation. They want transition.
That is such a good word. Transition.
They need help moving from busy daytime life into sleep.
And scrolling often becomes the tool for that, even if it is not the best tool.
So if we build a better transition, the phone may lose some of its power.
I also think it helps to make the evening feel nicer before bedtime.
What do you mean?
Sometimes people rush all the way until late night. Then suddenly they say, okay, sleep now.
Yes, but the body and mind are not machines.
Exactly. We need a softer ending.
Maybe dimmer lights, less noise, fewer decisions.
A slower feeling.
That can help a lot.
And maybe people do not need to stop all scrolling forever.
I agree. This is not about making phones the enemy.
Phones are useful, and sometimes they really do help us relax for a little while.
The question is whether we are using the phone or the phone is using us.
That is the real question.
If we choose it with intention, that is different.
But if we feel trapped in the habit, then something needs to change.
I think many listeners will understand this. It is not really about being weak.
No, it is about being human in a world full of endless content.
And especially being human at night, when energy is low and feelings are quiet but strong.
Yes, night is a very special time.
It can be peaceful, but it can also be a time when habits take over.
That is why small changes matter.
Not perfect changes, small changes.
Maybe one less hour, maybe one earlier bedtime, maybe one calmer night this week.
And those small wins can grow.
Definitely. People do not need to become perfect sleepers in one day.
They just need to notice the pattern and begin.
And maybe be a little kinder to themselves too.
Yes, because many people are doing their best. They are tired, they are overloaded, they are trying to find a little comfort.
So the answer is not only discipline, it is also understanding.
I like that very much.
Me too.
So today's idea is simple. It is hard to stop scrolling at night because we are tired. The content never really ends. The habit becomes automatic, and the phone often feels like comfort after a long day.
But when we understand that, we can start making better evening choices.
Little by little.
One night at a time.
Thanks for listening to this episode of English Listening Club.
We hope this conversation was helpful and relaxing for you.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who is also learning English.
Take care.